Thank you. Welcome. My name's Greg Mitchell, as you just heard, and my job is to make people awesome. And I've been checking you out. Some of you are freaking awesome. Some of you need work. Because all I did then is today we're going to look at positive communication. And the interesting thing about positive communication is that you don't just switch it on and switch it off. You either have it or you don't. Have a look at the person next to you. Check them out. Who's sitting next to a Ferrari, right? Who's sitting next to a tractor that needs a tune-up? Who's in love? Who wants to be in love? When we have a look at it, we're always judging people on who they are. And the interesting thing is, the little test I did with you is I just stand near doors, because I think doors are where you see where people are going to, and just stand there and smile. And the good people go, and they acknowledge you. That's positive communication, because only 7% of your communication is verbal. 38% is all about vocal, your tone. You know that, don't you? What's the worst said word in Australia? Sorry. Who's the worst person to say it to? Your brother. Say sorry to your brother. Oh, sorry, you idiot. Along with thank you when it's said the wrong way. You've heard that? How you can change thank you from, oh, thank you, to, oh, thank you. And it has a totally different meaning. But 55% of the journey is your body language. The stuff that people look at when you see what they're saying. And the difficulty is with it is often our voice is saying this and our body's putting our foot in our mouth. And the worst thing for positive communication is your phone, because you can't see the body language, can you? And I've watched you. A whole stack of you haven't been at this conference. A whole stack of you have been in your phone trying to ringmaster your husband to get those kids to wherever he's supposed to go. And not put all of that crap in the washing machine and... Just do this. Take your phone out. Switch it on. Yeah, come on. Take your phone out. Go to the texting menu. Message. That's the one with the yellow thing in the envelope. Tap it up. Pick out someone that you should talk to. Either husband, wife, friend, daughter, son. I'm going for daughter. Okay, she's in Kalgoorlie. Yes, go Goldfields. Tap it up and just send a message, something like what I'm going to say to her. I'm just going to go, hello, honey. Oh, I love my kids. Hello, honey. Love you big. Hugs. I'm going to put an S on there. Hang on. Hugs. Oh, did that badly. I'm dyslexic, so this is great fun. And the funny thing is when you're dyslexic, nobody knows when you're texting, do they? They think you just invented a new way of talking. Hugs. I'm now just going to put me in there, so Mitchie. There you go, send it. Yeah, now I wonder how many messages we'll get back. I'm going to wait, because my bet is if she's got a phone on her, I'm going to get a bloop by the end of this workshop. Think of how much love we just sent out into the room. Who just sent a message, though, to someone and went, oh, God, wrong person. And my boss is going to be really worried. Or he'd love her. You never know. Because when it comes to positivity, it's weird. But imagine if I said to you, I'll give you a number. Here's a message I want you to send. And then text in, "Stop it, you idiot. Grow up. Stop embarrassing all of us." And then I said, "Push it." And we just sent 300 messages to Nick Kyrgios, right? Imagine what would happen. Would he change his behaviour? Not at all. Because it's not the verbal, right? Just put your two fists together like that. That's the size of your brain. Check out the person next to you. Come on. Men have just gone, "Look, mine's huge." Size does not count. In this instance, women's brains are smaller, but they're tightly packed, right? Now, the reason why they're tightly packed and it gives women an opportunity to do things is that they're quicker to think. The message has to go less far. You know that. Men know this, you ask your wife something and she's already answering before you're finished. She's already got it. Women know this because they turn to their sons and say, "How was school today?" And he goes, "Boring." "What did you do?" "Nothing." "What do you want for tea?" "Whatever." "What do you want for tea?" "Food." "Will I shoot you tomorrow?" "Nothing else to do." It's just got to travel further, right? And the weird thing about this is that when we look at how positive we can be, the trouble is that positive is always on. If you are in a P&C, you cannot be lovely at the P&C and a bitch down the street. Got the point? You can't be a man and go, "Oh, yeah, I'm in the P&C and I'm wonderful," and then go and get tanked up at the pub, and I'm using gross stereotypes here, and shoot your mouth off and think, "Oh, everybody's going to love our P&C." It's always on. So that's why I stood at that door and checked you. And I heard a fat couple of people say, "Who's the grey-haired old guy in the tie, in the suit? Look." He's a good man. But you do that because we're not very good at being positive. And you're here at a conference and you're here to talk to people. And I looked at every table and there was at least two people gazing into their phone. And the issue is sometimes we've got to turn off the devices to turn ourselves on. Because great communication is difficult. When we have a look at it, you are all attached to, you are all tied together in this place. If we have one person who does the wrong thing, everybody will label every P&C with this. You know that in a school. You'll know that in a workplace. Who's ever had a workmate who's done something terrible and the whole place has been labelled with it? And then everywhere you go, someone will go, "Oh, do you live here or do you work with them?" And the trouble is your communication affects a whole range of people. You're not the only frog on this stick. And you go, "But what have I got to be positive about?" Because the funny thing is when we look at it, I love life. I'm in my late 30s now. I'm 63 this year. And I absolutely adore living, as opposed to the alternative. And, people say to me, "When are you going to retire?" I've only just learnt this. I got a 30-year plan. Imagine me at 93 being up here and still making you laugh. How cool would that be? Why do we put limitations on ourselves? And the trouble is with it, we get caught on the negatives all the time. And if I just give you a little look, at what makes you successful. Now, this is really important to listen to, because when you've got children, we often measure the wrong thing. This is the work from Shahzad Shamind at Stanford University. I warned you. That when we look at this, this is the speedometer of performance and fulfillment. What do we want for our kids? To be masters of their life, right? Or mistresses. And when you look at it, we got the level of performance and fulfillment. So my aim for every school and every kid that I work with is to be capable and fulfilled. That's the goal. Every organisation I work with, I want them to be capable and fulfilled. Not just good at the job, but happy to do it. Now have a look at that measure there. First 20% of the journey is IQ. How smart you are doesn't mean how good you are. You know this. Only 10% of your internal happiness is measured by your externals. So when we look at this, you know people who are smart, but you wouldn't trust them with your dog. And you know people who are not that cluey, you know. The wheel's going round, but the hamster's dead. But you love them. They're great people. They have skills. They make you laugh. They engage you. You think they're terrific people. And what's school so focused on? Academics. And we often punish our kids by saying, how smart were you today? What score did you get? You know, as soon as you measure yourself against someone else, you hate them. Do this. Put up your hand if you've ever fought with your brother or sister. The only people who didn't put up their hands don't have brothers or sisters, or else they're the very oldest or the very youngest, right? Put up your hand if you've ever had a fight with your brother or sister over nothing at all. Hands down. I love these. I've got 3 kids. One day I'm driving along, my daughter yells out, "Dad, Ben's breathing on me." I had to say, "Stop breathing, son, or I'll kill you." Stand up, put your hand up if you've ever had a fight with your brother or sister over nothing at all, and it just goes on forever and ever. I love those fights. You know, big brother, little brother fights. Big brother looks down and says, "Pick that up." And little brother looks up and goes, "I'm not picking it up." "Pick it up, that's stupid." "You're stupid." "But you smell." "Yeah, well, you smell like poo." "Well, you smell like runny poo." "Well, you smell like you eat runny poo and you like it." And then they punch each other. Put up your hand if you've ever told your children, "You children are driving me crazy or insane." Hands down. Why do they do that? They are fighting for a limited resource. That's you. And why do they hate their brothers and sisters? Because we measure them against each other all the time. How many times have you done that without thinking? "Look at your brother, isn't he beautiful?" And you hear the other one say, "I hate my brother." "Look at your sister, isn't she gorgeous? I'll punch her." Because 50% of this journey is your emotional quotient, right? It's not how smart you are, it's how well you cope with those feelings which don't make sense. Because the world goes like this, doesn't it? And we expect our kids to just go. And they will if you teach them emotional literacy. You see, if you do this, remember that brain? Front of your brain's the prefrontal cortex. It's the boss of the brain. It needs oxygen. All of your best decisions are when you've gone, instead of just doing something stupid. This bit, if I called it Albert after Albert Einstein, I learnt this yesterday in Melbourne at the MCG with Andrew Fuller, so I'm stealing it. The rest of this brain's got a whole stack of other stuff going on, and that's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So we'll call that Rex, right? This bit works in language. You know that, don't you? It's the bit that says to you, was that any good? Was that a good decision? How's that going? Is that all right? And one side of your brain goes, yeah, good on you. And the other side goes, idiot. Look at your brother, he's better than you. He did it better. Oh, I hate him. But the trouble is the back of the brain, this bit, this Rex bit, doesn't use language. It uses emotions, and it uses physicality, and it uses sight, and it moves you around all the time. That's why only 7% of your communication is verbal. You know this. Who's ever been trying to go to sleep after a P&C meeting? You know it, right? And you've come home and your Albert has said, time to sleep. You always go to sleep at 11 o'clock. And you do everything you normally do. But Rex is going, I wish I had punched her in the head. I'm going to move around. I'm kicking and I'm screaming. And it doesn't hear language. It doesn't hear language. So your Albert can say, oh, don't be stupid. You always go to sleep. Go and have a cup of tea and you'll be fine. Just calm down. And your husband, or your wife's, well, it all depends. Non-gender specific. And then if you're smart, you'll do this. You'll go, I'm not getting anywhere to sleep. Come on, Albert, get Rex up. Take him for a walk. Drink something, your choice. Because it's often fluid, right? Fluids make a difference. Next bit, and then just sit down and write down the things that are on your mind, or the jobs you have to do. And that just calms Rex down a bit, and your head hits the pillow and it's gone. Because you don't have to think about it because it's written down. My dad had no memory at all after he grew a little older, and he used to say, I have to write my name on a piece of paper at night time in case I forget it. I used to say, where did you put the piece of paper, mate? But I thought, if you had to write it down and let it go, wasn't that awesome? Because when you forget yourself, you realise you can be wonderful. Oops. If you can remember the slide, the last 50% of the journey is how... I know what's happened here. I've just run out of power. That's what's happened. I'm plugged in, but I don't think that switch is turned on. But that's fine. 20% of the journey is about your positiveness. The 100%, the people who get to reach their full potential, the businesses I work with who reach their full potential, are 100% positive. It doesn't mean they don't make mistakes and things don't go wrong, but when they make a mistake, they do this. Try this. Say this with me. Oh, a mistake. What an opportunity to grow. How fascinating. And if you're not positive, you'll go, this is stupid, I hate her, I'm not doing this anymore. They can take their P&C and shove it up Rex. And guess what? Nothing gets done. Everybody gets unhappy. And the difficulty is with it is you just got to learn to use the right language to yourself. Two sides of that brain is one side of you is that sage, that's that good side of your brain which goes, you're a good person, you do this. The other side's the saboteur, that sneaky ninja who just sneaks in and goes, you can't do this, You're too fat. You're ugly. You're stupid. You're dumb. Because there's words that trip you up, aren't there? Let's do a bit of activity. See, we got no visuals. I'm going to do a simple... Oh, that was good. I'm going to do a simple activity here. Now, this involves you looking for a partner who's not at your desk. You ready? Now, how are you going to do this? There's 3 ways I could do it. I could choose the group, you could choose the group, or God could choose the group. If I choose the group, how are you going to do it? It's pretty simple. I think I did this last time with you, but it's awesome. All you got to do is just look around the room and find a pair of eyes and lock onto those eyes and go. And then walk across the room to be with that person. Hi, Faye.
Hi.
I'm Greg.
I'm Faye.
Pleased to meet you.
You too.
Awesome. Now, she did really well, but normally when I do that, I go, and people go, oh, God. Because the world's not positive, is it, sometimes? You can look as positive as all get out and they'll just cut your guts out, right? So you've got to be persistent. That's why you've got to be positive to achieve things. Because you won't get it the first time. Do you know how many times from when you start something until you're confident at it, what the minimum amount is? 24 times. 24 times until you get it right. So when you look at that, Rex is slow, right? You can't tell him, you've got to teach him the pattern, right? He's a slow learner. Now what happens with this is when we make eye contact, if you've got a good organisation, what happens, you can do that with just about anybody because you've built trust. Because the difference is you don't want people to be comfortable in your P&C, because if they're comfortable in their P&C, they'll do what they've always done. If you want to teach and grow and learn new stuff, who looked at that Moodle and went, yeah, right, not me, someone else will learn this? Because we often try to change people who don't want to change. Put up your hand if you've ever tried to change people that you don't want to change. Who don't want to change? Who's married to them? The guy I got this from, he said he did this in a workshop and this woman goes, I said, who you put your hand up? He said, oh, I'm not married to him, that's my father. And she said, what's wrong with him? He said, oh, he's got the worst, he never looks after his body. Oh, and he smokes. He's been smoking for years. She said, how old is he? And he goes, 90. She goes, 94. She said, just give up. He goes, just give up. He said, let him smoke anything. Buy him some marijuana, say go for a pop. Save yourself the journey. Michael Dell, the head of Dell Computers, says, pay them to leave. All right? But the thing is with it is when we're trying to convince people how to do it, you've got to create a place where it's slightly uncomfortable, but where it's safe, so that you could try a new idea and you're not going to get cut down. And those people who cut you down often don't even say a word. Sometimes they say things like, oh, I'm trying to be positive, but I just can't see. They're not trying to be positive. They're little white ants, aren't they? Little vibe suckers. You know the vibe suckers, you're having a good time, they walk into the meeting. There goes all the fun. So you got to have a positive attitude or else they're going to kill all the positiveness around. So you've got to build trust. But watch it. You might look at someone across the room like this and go, how are you, mate?
Fine, thanks.
I'm Greg.
I'm Andrew.
Andrew, awesome. I love that you stood up for me. That was great. Because what happens when that happens, if that happens, you just stand up and go like this. And you're looking around for someone else who's going. And when you find them, just stand with them And the first thing I want you to do is to tell them some gossip. Who's going? It all depends who I'm talking to. Doesn't matter. Pick a stranger so it doesn't matter, right? Got it? Now watch it. The good partners go quick. And you've got to do someone from a different group. And you're going to do it in 1 minute because I'm going to run out of time otherwise. I just suffer from enthusiasm. You've said that. Here we go. And go. Off you go. Okay. Stop. How you going? Okay. Quiet. Stand up with that person. And just there. Awesome. Now, how'd you go with the gossip? Was it good? Was it hot? Oh, it depends. It's interesting. Now, get back to back with your partner. So turn around back to back. Now, one of the problems, one of the key issues with communication is that we have a problem with negative attraction. See, if I drew a big black rectangle like that one and just put a black dot in the middle of it, what do you notice? Black dot. You miss all the white dots, don't you? There's a bazillion white dots in there, but you don't even notice them because we always look at the negative, don't we? And that's why words like don't work. Because when you got back to back, I could have said, don't link arms with them and lift them off the ground. And what would every kid in the school do when I did that? Because it's a bit like if I said to you, don't think about elephants. Don't think about grey elephants in pink bikinis. Because the more detail I give you, the worse it gets, doesn't it? Don't think about grey elephants in pink bikinis bending over in front of you. It's disgusting. I told you not to. How many times do you see that in a school? I saw a principal in Kingaroy stand up first. Well, they don't have assemblies, they have parade. First parade of the year. And he goes, and this year I don't want any year eights. This year I don't want anybody smoking behind the gym. And he said it as a joke to the staff, and all the new year eights went, behind the gym? I saw a bloke in a drug ed workshop. It's no joke. And he picked up a plastic bottle and he said, and I don't want anybody making a bong out of these plastic bottles. And for the next week, all of the hoses in the school got shorter. Because you gotta watch the negative. When we look at the negative, it doesn't get you anywhere. When we use the negative, it really mucks up the world. Because then you only see the weaknesses instead of the strengths. If you start from a weakness, you've got pretty much no chance of teaching it. Start from a strength, you've got a 40 to 100% chance of achieving your goal. We've known this for years. But how many times do you walk home and go, oh, don't put your shoes on over there. Don't roll your eyes at me, young lady. Don't tell your father this. You got to watch it. Now, you're back to back, right? Now, you've just done, I can see some single people there. If you're a single person, join another couple. Come on, just move in. Now, watch it, I'm evil, I see everything. Now, you've just looked into the person's eye. You've just done the Some Enchanted Evening bit. You know that? Some enchanted evening, you will see a stranger across a crowded room. And you've gazed into their eyes. Without turning around, facing forward at all times, tell your partner what colour eyes they got. Stop there, don't turn around. Oh, mine's me. Face forward. Without turning around, hang on. Without turning around, tell your partner what they're wearing. Start from the shoes and move up. Off you go, give it a go. Do both sides, work it through. Okay, turn around, check them out. Now, how'd you go? Now, if you are lucky, you are with somebody whose Rex is very visual. Visual Rex. Because what happens with that is great visual people are excellent to meet. Because they always go, new shoes, oh, I like those. If you are with a man, they're usually crap at this. They say things like, are you wearing any clothes? Now, to change the point, now here's the key point. Can you remember what was said? Who can remember the gossip? Yeah. Because Albert goes, black spot, yippee! Rex goes, who the hell are you talking to? And our point is, listen to this. Tell them. You tell them. You can do it. Our deaf.
Deaf ladies knew what the woman wore.
Does that point prove the point? Title teaching. Because when we're looking at it, we got all of these issues, haven't we? The darn dumb stuff with this. We just did that. We found a partner. Now watch this. How did you look across the room? Did you look across the room like this? Or did you look across the room like this? And did they look back like that? Because when we're looking at communication, and you got that bit of gossip, we found out this. What did you remember most? Actually, the words, don't we? Because Albert plays with the words, remember? The rest of the brain is taking in the visuals, the body language, all of that, but we remember the words. And when we remember the words, there are trigger words, aren't there? There's stuff that gets you going. And Rex just goes insane when he hears them. Put up your hand if your brother or sister or anybody has ever told you you were dumb. Hands down. Put up if anybody's ever told you you're stupid. Put up your hand if anybody's ever told you you were slow. Yeah, I love that one because people are so... Oh, yeah, hang on. Shut up. Put your hand up if anybody's told you you were fat. Oh, or ugly. Yeah, hands down. Put up your both hands if you have ever told yourself you're dumb, stupid, slow, fat, or ugly. Yeah, give up. Stop it. Surrender. Because the trouble is this, and this is a really hard one to learn. Get back to back with your partner again. Figure out who's the tallest and who's the shortest. No tall jokes and short jokes. Because that's a big put down. I was in a school recently, and this kid, I go, stand up if you've ever been told you're too tall. And this kid stands up, and he's like, yay, big. And I go, I get that. Sit down. I said, stand up if anybody's ever told you you've been too short, because short people cop it, don't they? They get that. Stand up if you've been too short. Oh, you are standing up. You know, that sort of joke. Because most humour is put down. You've got to watch it. And that'll push a button. That'll pull your trigger. But this kid stood up again. And I said, how tall are you in a number that I can understand? And he goes, I'm 6'5". I go, how come you're too short? He goes, I play basketball. I want to be a centre, I need to be 7 foot. Not I want to be, I need to be 7 foot. What sort of a mucked up world do we live in that you're 6'5" and you're 16 years old and you're still too short? And can you change how tall you are? I'm not wearing heels for anyone, right? But I look good. Thank you, I love you too. But what we're after is there's trigger words, isn't it? And I'll show you how easy it is to trigger it. Okay, the first one is easy. Here we go. Short person, you're first. When I say turn around, you're going to turn around to your partner and you are going to give them a compliment. And I just give you a chance to do it. If you don't know one for them, fake it till you make it, right? Your brain... Albert doesn't know you're faking it, right? I'll show you how dumb the brain is. If you are unhappy, just get a pencil and stick it in your mouth like that. And if you can turn the top to this bit up, leave it for around about 30 seconds, you will get a flush of endorphins which says you're happy. And you'll find yourself doing this. That's so stupid. It's weird. The brain can be tricked, right? So just give them a positive, nice thing. You ready? Go. Okay, stop. How easy is that? Have a look at everybody around you. They're all doing this. And if there's nobody who's not doing that, that's the person who gave the compliment and went, what have I just done? Back to back again. Okay, tall person. Shorty went first, Tallie next. Tall person, this time when you turn around, you are going to insult your partner. Who's going, I don't want to do this, right? Right, why? Because I've told you to insult your partner and your Albert has just gone, oh no. When do you insult people? When you're mad and you're angry, right? Who's done something when they're angry which they've gone, that is so stupid. I've just lost this marriage. All right, just like, but it happens, doesn't it? Violence is everywhere. People do it. I was at yesterday, and where to get into the MC, I was an MC. We're doing a conference there, right? And to get in, it's pretty hard. They've got pretty tight security. But we've been using it for 3 different conferences. And one of the ladies who's the organiser turns up, goes to go through the entrance, and there's nobody at the gate. So she goes down to the cafe, which we know how to get through into, and there's the security guard. She says, our gate's not open. We've got about 300 people ready in about 20 minutes. We need that gate open. Not my job. Are you on that gate? Yes, but they haven't told me you're coming. Well, we work with Malcolm and... Oh, well, that's spot. They can figure that out. Now, Malcolm is with Epicure and he set that up. I don't care. You can go to gate 6A if you like. She's about ready to kick him in the groin, right? This is violence against women. Comes back up, steams up the top, talks to the other coordinator, says, and tells us all of this. He goes down, plays the big dog, and goes, that gate will be open in 7 minutes, mate. Walks away. Gate's open in 7 minutes. Why did he do it to a woman? It's on all the time, isn't it? Don't even think about it. 2 biggest drives for men, sex and territory. When you get to my age, bed and shed. Why do men do it? Because their default position when they see weakness is to be dominant, right? You'll see that with your kids. Boys want to dominate. And if girls are submissive, they keep going with it. Don't be submissive. Push back. See how well you handle this insult, though. Okay, let's see. Here we go. You ready to go? And go. Give it a go. Okay. Now, there is a secret to giving a good insult. And it's usually when you pick on something that they're good at and say you are envious. When you go, you're just so good looking, it's so scary to stand next to you. Who didn't do it? Yeah, because when you get caught there, you never know where that's going to go, does it? I think that security guard at the will be out of a job today because he didn't know where that was going and who he was dealing with, right? And his wife will say, why did you do it? And he go, and his Rex will shrug his shoulders and go, well, I don't know. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Because when we think about it, it's dumb, isn't it? Don't insult people unless you've thought about it. And then put it in a way where we're talking about a fact, not an opinion. And then build the relationship beforehand. And watch out for negative words. They kill. Because positive words make a difference to the world. And if we have a look, if you will need a reason to be positive, because the trouble is we get caught on the black spot, don't we? Who's got a great family, lovely kids, nice wife, bit of a job, eats every day, sleeps in a bed, got a toilet that flushes, all that stuff, and gets upset because some bitch parked in your parking spot. Or he doesn't, or she doesn't know where that spanner goes in your garage, you know? Why do we do that stuff? I don't know what was said over there, but that was good. I wish I knew that one. What's he doing in the garage? Yeah. What's he doing in my garage would be better. The interesting thing is with it is we've got a whole stack of stuff that works along here. So when we look at it, You got to learn to express yourself in such a way that you are readily and clearly understood. Got it? Turn back to your partner. Say, thank you for being my partner. Go and take a seat. And when you look at it, you've got to make sure when you talk to people that you have both got the same map that you are working on. So this is so critical. I heard you talking to James before about having a goal. You're all on the same page, so you know what's going on, because you often don't speak the same language. My daughter, when she got married, she married a guy from New Zealand, beautiful man, still is, love him to death. But in our family, if you've got a birthday, the map of the world goes like this. It's your birthday. We wake you up in the morning, if that's what you choose, and you get a breakfast of your choice. You will get, along with all of your other presents, you will get a bunch of flowers, because we're a floral family. You get a box of chocolates, and you will get gifts from everyone. Not just you'll have one big gift, but there'll be little things from everyone to show that we love you. And that night you'll go out to a restaurant of your choice with us. If you want a party, throw it yourself. Because this is our family celebrating this child, right? We don't celebrate any other crap. We don't have Father's Day and Mother's Day and all that stuff, because that's just for the retailers. And because our parents were both emotional terrorists. And they would compare against each other and be very negative on a really supposedly positive day. So we didn't put our children through that. We want our children to be in love with their own lives, not with ours. Son-in-law comes from New Zealand. You wake up on a birthday morning and you go to work. Then you figure out what you're going to give them during the day. And then you turn up with it at dinner time. By lunchtime, this man is almost divorced. It's not that he doesn't care or he doesn't love her. He's just got a totally different map of the world. Where's my breakfast? Where's the flowers and the chocolates? Hasn't he thought about this in advance? We've all got those things. Set out your goals. Fairly simple. Have a set of rules. Basic ones, mutual respect. Nobody has friends on the P&C. You're friendly to everyone. No put-downs. No eye-rolling, no sighing. No telling people who got smelly big butts. And no self-put-downs. None of the, I can't do this is just so hard. Little girls learn it when they go, I can't do this, I'm cute. I can't do this is too hard. It's not fair. When someone says it's not fair, male or female, do this. I've shown you this before. Put out your hand, everyone. Check the person next to you. Make sure they're doing it. And go like this. And then say the words, get over it, princess. That's not a put down, that's a call to resilience, right? In my family, we had 4 levels on it. My dad had been shot during the war, so he didn't have any emotions. So he just used to say, rub it with a brick, mate. And I won't tell you where they shot my dad, but I'm a miracle. And then we just found out last year that Dad wasn't shot by the enemy like he told us. He was shot by one of his own men. We've always been popular. But then you got the next level up is first it's get over it, princess, then rub it with a brick. Then is there blood? Because if there's no blood, you're fine. And then finally, is anyone dead? Because if no one's dead, fine. That's a map of the world. No. Mutual respect, no put downs. Be your absolute best self. Don't bring your worst self out. If you're going to bring your worst self out, stay at home. Listen to people. Isn't that the hardest thing in the world? Look at them like they're beautiful. Have a look at the person next to you. How they're going. Look for the inner beauty. It's there. The way you look at people is the way they're going to treat you. You look at them like you're happy, they're going to be happy with you. Look at them like you're a problem, they're going to see you as a problem. Look at me like you're cheeky and I'll sort you out. Don't speak when other people are speaking. If you want to speed up your meetings, just time the speaking. And if you want to be really cool, get a timer like this. This is called a ramp walker. You're going to find it hard to see it over here, but that's the ramp. This is the walker. Who wants one of those, right? And you have so many trips of the duck, right? But that's cool because you can hear it going tick, 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 and it gets people working. So, mutual respect, no put downs, be your best self, actively listen, remember what was said, take good notes. And if you don't know, last one is get help. If you don't know, find out, cheat. You're not in an exam. You can find stuff out. It's called Google, isn't it? And now you've got Moodle. What can't you do? And when we look at it, meetings shouldn't be like this, should they? That's slightly at risk, isn't it? But how many times do you have a meeting and it is like that? Because what happens is, I just thought that was funny. Hopefully we'll share everything in common. But when we look at it, all of it's a story in your head, isn't it? It's how you see it as how it works. The world is a wonderful place. Just don't watch the news. Because it's full of negative stuff, isn't it? To me, life is full of wonderful things. Believe in miracles. And if you don't believe in miracles, you probably forgot that you are one. I'm going to finish with a really cool little miracle in himself. You've probably heard of this, but this guy's called the Kid President. Now, the Kid President is a little kid. He's about 9 in this. He started out when he was 8. And he's born with brittle bone disease. And what happened is he's had about 80 bones broken in his body. But he says, I'm okay. My sister's had 85. You always measure against your sister. And kids who are in hospital a lot seem to be sassy. You notice that? They talk to a lot of adults and they get used to adult talk and they answer back and those sorts of things. And so he goes, his brother-in-law, who's much older than him, says, you got an answer for everything. You should be President of the United States. So he said, yeah. So they dressed him up like Barack Obama. And they sent a pep talk to the United States. And it was brilliant. It went viral. It meant millions and millions of hits. And you'll see why here. This is him saying 20 things we should say more often. Just take this to your meetings And every time somebody doesn't do this, kill them. Oops. Have we got voice? Here we go. No sound.
Every day.
Oh, hang on. I'll get back to the start. Beginning.
We should say more often. Number 20, thank you. And not just on Thanksgiving, every day. Number 19, excuse me. Number 18, here's a surprise corn dog that I bought you because you're my friend. There'll be more corn dogs and more happy people. This is a good idea. Corn dog for you, corn dog for you, corn dog for you. Number 17, I'm sorry. Number 16, I forgive you. Number 15, you can do it. But don't say it if it's something you can't do. Number 14, another thing that we should say more often. I have barbecue sauce in my shirt too. Before you say something about the barbecue sauce on somebody else's shirt, take a look at the barbecue sauce on your own shirt. Number 13, please. Number 12, everything is going to be okay. Number 11, oh, you got me a corn dog too? You shouldn't have, buddy. Number 10, I don't know. I know a lot of people who need to say that. My sister. Number 9, you're so awesome I named my dog after you. Wait. That could hurt someone's feelings. I mean boat. I named my boat after you. Wait, who even has a boat? You're so awesome, I legally changed my name to yours. Wait, that's super creepy. Just tell people they're awesome and mean it. Number 8, hello, person that I've never met before. Here's a high five. Number 7, my sports team is not always the best sports team. It takes a big man to say that. Number 6, nothing. Sometimes that's the best thing you can say. Number 5, doesn't mean anything, but it's just really funny. Number 4, I disagree with you, but I still like you as a person who is a human being, and I'll treat you like that. Because if I didn't, it would make everything bad, and that's what lots of people do, and it's lame. Whew, I need a water break, y'all. It's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to be mean. Number 3, sometimes you just gotta scream. Number 2, life is tough, but so are you. Sometimes we all need to be reminded to keep going. Number 1, something nice, anything. If you can't think of anything nice to say, you're not thinking hard enough. So what about you? What do you think people should say more often? Leave a comment below and let's hear it. Oh, and I got a bonus one for you.
You don't get the bonus until you do this. Hang on, I just got to grab something. Pretty simple. This is not about your head. Remember what we said? Front of the brain, too logical. This is about your heart. And the trouble is with your heart, is that when you put your heart on display, this happens. Punch it. Don't worry, you can't break my heart. I told you. You need each other to keep your heart beating, don't you? Remember back to when somebody gave you a compliment that you didn't know and you felt so good? All it takes is a great compliment.
Broke it.
What we've got to learn is to give good compliments, but also to receive them. Let's see how good you do. Turn to the person next to you, look them in the eye, and say, you're wonderful. Turn to somebody on the other side and say, you're marvellous. If you've got a boss or a president in the room, look at them and say, I love you. Always suck up to the boss. They may have money. Look at me and say you're brilliant. Not really. No. First thing, learn to give the compliments. Next one, learn to receive them. And when someone says to you, you're wonderful, don't go, I know. Or what do you want? Just say thank you. Because God doesn't make any junk and you're plenty good enough. And then let Rex do the bonus.
Thing that we should say more often? Let's dance.
I love this. He's such a good dancer, and then suddenly they give him the cue, and watch. Oops.
Soul Pancake, subscribe.
Soul Pancake's a great place to get positive meanings in a great spot. And they're very viral, very easy to use. And he's got a whole stack of cool stuff as well. Thank you for having me today. I think you're absolutely wonderful. Have a great rest of the conference. Enjoy every bit of it. And remember that I love you. Thank you.